Welcome back to another video. Last video we started assembling the car again, and also the video before that. This video the car is rolling out of this unit. Maybe not driving, but rolling definitely. Last video you see we've got the trailing arm on, put the brake dust shield on. The handbrake cables have got are wrong, so I'm waiting for new ones and then they'll come. I'm going to put the diff bushings in, get the diff in, axles in, and then once they arrive we can get the calipers and all that on. So let's go. Welcome under the car. We've got our diff in now with our new diff bushings. See the little orange guy there, one there, and then one there. I didn't film this because I actually think how I got this in the car would be against YouTube's guidelines, so just pretend I did it safely in the correct way. But that's in, we've got this in, hopefully for the final time, some frame bolts and stuff like that. So we're getting a drive shaft in next, that goes to the gearbox, and then the axles that come that side and off the other side, and then once the handbrake cables arrive everything can be put back together then. How exciting. So now let's get the drive shafts in. These guys see right here, they send the power from your diff to your wheels. So on E46 and many other cars, one will be bigger than the other. On this particular car the shorter side is the passenger side. If you're standing at the back, the left side if you're American or something. So passenger side, driver side. These have a common issue with these rings where these will rust, or underneath will rust. The rust will bubble this up or kind of press it up, so your ABS sensor will give you a bad reading, which will then cause these three lights to come on. I'm sure every E46 owner will be familiar with these. To fix that, all you can do is grind this back, make sure that's nice, get a new ABS ring on like I've done here, and let's hope that's fine because I don't really want to buy another drive shaft. Anyway, let's get these in. Here I'm starting to put the right side axle in. This was a little bit of a challenge because the spline and the hole that receives the spline in the hub are a little bit crusty. So you can see me here trying to use the hammer and wiggling it and pushing it and all that, but it's not quite working. So I resorted to try and clean them up a bit with a drill bit with a wire brush on it, which actually worked. So I managed to get the axle seated in. I actually forgot to take the bolts under with me, so I just found a threaded rod and I'm just going to stick that through there just to hold it in place so I can go get the bolts. Now that I've got the 6 bolts, I'm just going to put these in hand tight one by one so it's all attached properly. You can see here I'm making sure the orange marks are lined up. This matters because your axles are balanced to the output of the diff flange, so if you've got a mark, make sure you line them up, or if you're taking them off, mark them so they go back in the same orientation. Now, same again here for the left side, bit of a struggle to put in. Once again I tried wiggling and pushing hard and all this, but wasn't really having any luck. What I ended up doing was just pushing it in with all my big strong force till the threads were sticking through the hub a little bit. At this point I could thread the nut on by hand and then impact it on, which will obviously pull the axle through the hub where it needs to be, and then the 6 bolts can just go on that side. And then threaded on the axle nut on the right side of the car. Got that tightened down again with the impact. I don't have a torque wrench. These need to be torqued to around 300 Newton meters. So I just gave them a good few ugga-duggas with the impact gun, and that's our axles all in. Let's move on to the rear handbrake assembly. A lot of the things here are just kind of time-lapsed or glossed over, but I'm going to show you how to do this because it can be a little bit complicated. Step 1, we're going to get our 2 brake pad shoes and kind of half assemble them on a bench or just off the car essentially. So you can see me here, I've basically put the little adjuster where it needs to be with a little spring across it. And it's the smaller spring you use for the adjuster. Once you've got that on, you want to take it over to your car, stick it on where it needs to be. Basically just kind of bend it around and get it seated on hub. And then you'll notice on this car specifically, there's 2 little retaining kind of screw things. These just need a half turn, 90 degrees either way to kind of lock into position. So that's the easy bit done. The hard bit now is getting the bit that catches the handbrake cable on. So you can see it's got a little hook on it here, and you can open it up, which makes it a lot easier. All you want to do is you want to hook that around the back of your handbrake cable that's coming through the hub. Once you've done that, you can close the clip like that, and then you want to put both sides of them in, which is still not too difficult. It can be a bit fiddly though. And then once you've got that, all you need to do is put the big spring, the other big spring in your kit, through the 2 holes there. Now this is the hard bit. What I'd recommend doing is getting one side in the bottom hole and then thread a screwdriver through the spring and then up into the hole, and then just lever up on the screwdriver until the spring will slip down into the hole, and then you can just stick your brake disc back on. Here I've got mine on, and it's rotating nice and freely now. When you pull the handbrake up, that should be it locked in and no longer moving. Just going to stick the calipers back on.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Got the brakes on. I didn't film it though. I ordered calipers about 2-3 months ago and they were the wrong ones. They must have been for a 320 or 318 or something. Basically they weren't big enough. So I got a refurb kit, did my old calipers. So I refurbed them. Not going to paint them now because it's going to be a brake upgrade not far in the future. So they'll do the now as long as they work, which they hopefully will. So with the brakes done, there's only one more thing to do. That concludes our video. Thank you very much for watching. I know this series is taking a little while, but stuff takes time and I've also got other stuff going on, so I can't be at my unit 24/7. But thank you nonetheless, and I hope you look forward to the next one.